Question 27. What will God do to this world one day? God will destroy the world by fire and bring about a perfect new world where those who believe in him can live forever with God. So what will God do to this world one day? God will destroy the world by fire. Now, by the way, just before we look at that one, when I do this with my family, I have different ways of doing the catechism, depending on how much time we got. Sometimes I'll go through old questions that they know quite well, and I will ask them, like, what will God do to this world one day? And I'll let them try and answer it. And then together we'll try and memorize it. So then I will say, God will, and they go destroy. And then I'll say the world by, and they go fire. And then gradually together we'll start memorizing it that way. If we don't have enough time, we won't do the Bible references. We might just go to the application question and pray, that kind of thing. If we've got enough time, we do the whole thing. But so there's just little tips for ways you can do this.
Quick question. How long do you take for one, just say like question 27, how long would you take, when you say you don't have enough time, what is not enough time?
So I suppose I like it, doing a catechism question with my family, I like it if we can have, say, 10 to 15 minutes to do that, if we can. And I like it to be fun, you can spend half an hour on it, but I only want it to be half an hour if the kids are driving it. Sometimes the kids are like, do another one, and then you're like, yeah, we're on fire tonight, And other times you can sense okay, I don't want to push it too much tonight, So God will destroy the world by fire. Let's look at 2 Peter 3, verse 7. How will God destroy the world? By fire. What will God do to this world one day? God will destroy the world by fire and bring about a perfect new world where those who believe in him can live forever with God. So let's look at Revelation 21, verses 1 to 8. So now, amazing passage. List the good things in verses 3 to 4. So someone said God, yeah. God will dwell among his people.
Wipe every tear from their eyes.
Wipe every tear.
There'll be no crying or moaning.
Moaning. Probably no moaning as well. Us council estate people just won't know what to do with ourselves. We'd be at the bus stop trying to have a conversation with people like, what do you chat about if you don't moan?
No pain.
No death.
Great. Okay, now let's go to John 14, 1 to 6. Okay, so who do we get to be with in heaven? Yeah, I mean, you said the right answers. Yeah, it's true, we get to be with Jesus. The thing I'm drawing out there is we get to be with the Father. Because he says, my Father's house, and then he says, verse 4, you know the place where I am going. And they say, we don't know. And verse 6, no one comes to the Father except through me. So when Jesus talks about going to this place, in Jesus' mind, he's talking about going to be with the Father. So the emphasis isn't so much on how amazing it's going to be, even though it is going to be amazing, but the emphasis is more on being with the Father. Now this is important for us, but it's also a little bit confusing if you're used to using the King James Version, because in the King James Version, what does Jesus say he's preparing? Many mansions. So I warned you weeks ago, we'd go there. Please don't hate me for this. But in the teacher's guide, bottom of page 32, in the For Further Study guide, there's actually a typo there. I started typing it before the For Further Study. But go to For Further Study. It says, the KJV, that's King James Version, translates John 14, 2 to 3 as, in my Father's house are many mansions. This leads people to view heaven as a place where we get given a massive house. However, this is an unhelpful translation and misses the point that heaven in the context is about being with the Father. And now I'm going to quote Don Carson because I don't want you to hate me. So I'm going to quote Don Carson, what he said about this. Carson writes, the Greek word mone, cognate with the verb mene, to remain, to stay, to dwell, properly signifies a dwelling place. Because the Latin Vulgate rendered it mansiones, the Authorized Version, or King James Version, followed by the Revised Version, used mansions. So what he's saying, in Latin they use this word mansiones, and he's saying that then in the King James they followed that by using the term mansions. However, but what he's saying is the Greek word there, mone, is to do with a dwelling place, a place where you dwell. It's not saying a mansion. So in some ways it's kind of one of those sort of, just a thing that kind of happened by sort of coincidence, whereby in the King James translation you got the word mansion. Not quite coincidence, but a similar thing. So he says, however, since heaven is here pictured as the Father's house, it is more natural to think of dwelling places within a house as rooms in the NIV, or suites or the like. So it'd be more kind of like a hotel, God the Father's hotel, and you've got a nice suite in there.
I was just going to say, can you imagine saying that to someone, like, in terms of evangelizing someone? They'll be like, convert to a Christian, like, no time. They'll be like, yeah, I'll give my life to Christ, like, all of this, like, it's kind of...
The simplest explanation is best. My Father's house refers to heaven, and in heaven are many rooms, many dwelling places. The point is not the lavishness of each apartment, but the fact that such ample provision has been made that there is more than enough space for every one of Jesus' disciples to join him in his Father's home. That's from Don Carson's commentary on John. Okay, so who do we get to be with in heaven? The Father. Okay, so now let's look at... So, how are we supposed to feel about the new world?
Excited.
Yeah, what does it say there in the text?
Anticipation.
Yeah, anticipation. It says we are looking for, you could translate it as we are seeking for. So we are seeking after. So what will God do to this world one day? God will destroy the world by fire and bring about a perfect new world where those who believe in him can live forever with God. So is the application question, are there things that depress you that you would feel differently about if you were looking forward to the new world? So just ask that to the person next to you.